So we're finally at the part where I show you how to play the game. In order, here's what you need. A flat surface or game board. You want an area to play on. At the very least, you want something 4 feet by 4 feet. If you want, you can go bigger than that, just make sure it isn't impossible to move your units around. This area is referred to as your playing field. Deployment zone. Your deployment zone is an area that extends from your side of the table to about a foot out into the battlefield. They can be different sizes, but just make sure that they aren't more than like a quarter of the battlefield total. These zones are usually on opposite sides of the table. At the start of the game and throughout it, you will deploy your units into this zone. You can either deploy units of a chosen faction into the zone, or join the rest of us and throw whatever models you've built out there. At the start of a game, you and your opponents are supposed to alternate placing units on the field or holding them in reserve for later. As stated before, you should have an equal point value on all sides. If this isn't possible, try to get it as close as you can. You can place these units in any order you desire or in any pattern you want within your deployment zone. Keep placing them until everyone has all their units on the playing field, with the exception of units you wish to hold in reserve for tactical purposes. And that's really about it. Make sure you have all the stuff I mentioned in the Getting Ready video and you're ready to play. With that, what sort of game modes are there to play? First up, Deathmatch. It's exactly what you think it is. Keep going until only one team has units left in play. There is no set turn limit on this game mode. This of course means that units on the battlefield. If you still have units in reserve, they don't count. Skirmish, the game's namesake. Before you get started, roll a d6 and then add 4 to that number to determine how many turns this game will be. The winner is the player who destroys the highest total point value of units within that number of turns. Objective. Place a marker or some sort of unique terrain in the near center of the playing field. This will be our objective. 10 inches around this objective is known as the objective zone. Roll a dice and then add 2 to the results to determine how many turns this area needs to be occupied by a player's units in order to end the game. The winner is the player with the highest point value of units within the objective zone for that determined amount of time. Territory. Divide the map evenly into 4 sections, and then roll a dice and add 4 to determine the amount of turns this game will go on for. The winner is the player with the highest point value of units across the most territories. This game mode plays into larger armies, as high-cost units can only be in one place at a time, while lower-cost units have the freedom to just spread out and cover the map. Last but not least, Battle Royale. It follows the same rules as a deathmatch for the most part, but the arena is designed to not let players see into the deployment zone of any other players before you get started. You can get away with this by using like fold-out poster boards or dungeon master screens if you can find them. Usually this game mode is for like 6 or so players, but you know, do whatever you want. The winner is the single player who has units remaining in play. And that's gameplay setup. Next time, we'll go over turn sequencing, or the motions of going through a turn.